Crime. We see it on the news every day, but what exactly is a crime? Crime has numerous definitions, but to sum it all up, crime is generally characterized in four ways: a violation of a legal specification, a law enacted by a competent law-making body, involvement in both culpable intent and overt action, and finally, it carries a specific penalty. Cases of crime. In India, there was a conviction of 4 men responsible for the rape and murder of a 23-year-old woman. In New Zealand, the government ordered an investigation into the police handling of a teenage rape group. Police could not prosecute the group because they had never gotten a formal complaint. However, it was discovered that a girl had made a formal complaint but had been told that she did not have enough evidence because of what she was wearing, despite a video interview. In Myanmar, the violence between Muslims and Buddhists left 6 dead, with numerous homes that were burned down. In Russia, a suicide bomber left 6 killed and 33 wounded. In Iraq, the holy day of Asura turned violent when the Shiite Muslims were attacked in Iraq, killing 47 people and wounding many others. And finally, in Brazil, a soccer game turned violent when a yellow card started a violent fight. One player stabbed another twice, and the assailant faced a much more gruesome death. There is a distinct correlation between society and crime. The first is the rape culture. Rape culture states that societies have a hidden culture that encourages men to sexually assault women. There are 4 ways society creates this rape culture. 1. Treating women like property. If you think about it, women are seen as the property of fathers before marriage and then to husbands after marriage. 2. The use of women in masculinity contests. Men are pressured by society to take part in masculinity contests to prove their manliness to other men, and women are usually the object of these masculinity contests. 3. Women ask for it. This myth that women ask for it causes many people to hold the victim, not the offender, responsible for the crime, making rape much more prevalent. And finally, the socialization of boys and girls. From a very young age, girls are taught to play the stereotypical feminine role, where girls are gentle and dependent. These feminine roles make women more prone to becoming potential victims, since passive women are ideal targets. Boys, on the other hand, are taught to be rough and dominant. This rape culture creates inequality since it tells men to dominate over women. This inequality can be seen in both India and New Zealand, where the rape cases were seen. In New Zealand, the percentage of seats held by women in national parliaments is 32%, and more severely in India, it is 11%. Second is through the ideas of ethnocentrism, which fueled the terror of rebel groups in Myanmar, Russia, and Iraq, and lastly, through poverty, which leads to inequality as seen in Brazil, where an impoverished neighborhood where inequality runs rampant did not have any type of strict policing. This lack of a formal structure led the people to create their own informal structure of justice, which then led to violence. As a whole, we can analyze all these cases of crime through the conflict perspective based on the idea of Karl Marx, where order is maintained by domination, where groups fight for dominance over the other. We have seen men fighting for dominance over women, ethnic groups fighting for dominance over others, and the rich fighting for dominance over the poor. When we see stories of crime on the news, our initial reaction is one of anger, horror, and disgust towards the crime. However, that is not enough. Crimes like this will continue to happen unless we try to understand the impact of society as well as find ways to change society and decrease crime. The end of rape culture, inequality, poverty, and other social problems will lead to a dramatic decrease of crime around the world.
Created using Powtoon.